Okay, so in this video, I'm training two pretty different dogs here. This is their first outing for both dogs. This dog is Charm. She's a little bit more confident and outgoing. For my first session for both dogs, I'm just kind of trying to read the room, see what we're gonna be dealing with nerve-wise. This is a pretty quiet corner of a hardware store parking lot. My initial goal anytime I'm doing a public outing is just engagement. So my goal isn't even to go into the store, so we didn't even go in the store this day. My main goal here is we're pretty much going back to e-collar conditioning for this first session. I'm just pairing stim with you get food. I'm adding in some goofy little noises. Here and there I'm asking for some obedience, but mostly I'm just trying to get that engagement. We're in a new place. There's these shed doors kept flapping open and closed. There's people walking around. So I'm just trying to kind of get into the dog's head and keep them kind of level. Charm is a lot more confident than this second dog you'll see here in a second. So with her, we ended up doing a lot more obedience heavy things. For her, what works best with distractions from what I'm seeing so far is just saying, hey, I don't care what's happening, you're doing your job. But you'll see with this next dog, it's going to be a little bit different. So each session with each dog is going to be a little bit different. The environments change, and then also the dog's personalities have a lot to do with it too. So with her, we're just focusing on, hey, do your job. We start kind of getting more into the obedience as this session progresses, but really it's our second session that we really get into it. Side note, those lines on the pavement were incredibly slippery, and it was raining out, and I pretty much almost fell at each session. It was horrible. But Charm did really, really good. I think for her, she's probably ready to go into the store maybe next session that we go out. I think she's gonna have a little bit of trouble with close proximity to people and carts and stuff, but that's gonna be a good challenge for her. I think just kind of being able to communicate with her that you're not going to play any games or anything like that, and that literally when I say heel, your job is to be by my side. I think that that's the clarity that she really needs, and that's what's going to help her confidence the most. She is a dog that she will try to put herself in the decision-making position if you don't really communicate to her that that's not what's happening. So being super clear with her and just being really consistent in what you're asking is going to be the key for her when it comes to public obedience. So this next dog is Roxy, and you can see body language right out the gate. We're quite a bit different from Charm. Roxy's lacking a little bit of that confidence that Charm has. So she's a little bit more kind of all over. You can see that tail was held a lot lower. She's shaking a lot. She was also very dead set on trying to drink out of that puddle. I offered her clean water in the car. The clean water apparently does not taste as good as the gross parking lot water. But with her, it's very similar to what we did with Charm, where we're going back to e-collar stim means I have food. However, I'm kind of having her chase that food in my hand. So I do this quite a bit more on our next session. Again, like our first sessions going out is really just about seeing like how the dogs are going to act, what they're going to do, because I don't want to set us up for failure. If I brought Roxy out here and told myself that our goal is we're going to heel around the whole store and then go home, that's still going to be too much of a goal for her, and it's going to not be a successful session. It's going to be frustrating for her, and we really want the dogs to have a good time, especially when we're in new, scarier environments. And you can see she's a little bit on the skittish side, like here and there she'll like step weird or see something weird and she'll kind of jump a little bit. So that's why I'm keeping things really fun and almost kind of fast. So I'm having her push into me with the food. We're not really doing any obedience or anything. The whole thing is just I give you food, ignore all the other stuff. And eventually she is going to get to that point where having that job is going to help increase that confidence, just like I was saying with Charm. But you're really having to move at the dog's pace, and some dogs you're having to kind of lay some different fundamentals, like with Roxy here, having her gain that extra confidence by pushing into me to get that food. So somehow I have this luck of I always get super weird interactions with people when I'm training dogs. And it's always with dogs that I would really prefer the interaction to not occur with. But what I do is I asked her for a sit, so I put her into obedience to kind of give her a job. I wasn't really sure what this person was trying to do. I thought maybe they were trying to like park there, which I was like, seriously, I have the whole parking lot. But they were a nice person. I just was delusional and convinced I was about to get kidnapped. But you can see like the whole time when we're in public handling dogs and things, my goal is the session. So my goal is not really like being super polite to people or anything. My focus is on the dog. So as you saw there, like Roxy stood up a little bit, which is absolutely not a bad thing here. I believe that was a little bit higher of a distraction than I would have liked to have with her. But I just calmly put her back into that sit. I'm still focused on what I'm doing in that scenario. So in this session with Charm, we went a little heavier on the obedience. We're doing a lot more healing, trying to get her to pay attention. When she loses engagement with me, I tried to like switch directions or do something different. I want her to think that I'm kind of crazy and that if she takes her eyes off me, I'm gonna go somewhere and she needs to kind of babysit me. But she was doing really, really good with this. Again, I think her next session, we're gonna go into the store, provided it's not like crazy busy or something like that. But she does really good with this, so we just kind of keep going. I do have both of these dogs working on hot dogs in this session. So when we talk about training with the kibbles so we can increase the dog's pay grade when we're in more challenging environments, this is what I'm meaning. So both of these dogs typically train on their kibble with me. So when I pull out hot dog chunks in this like more intense environment, they're getting that pay bump and they're going to be more willing to work. Whereas if I just brought the basic regular kibble, they might not have been as willing to engage. So giving yourself that space to move up in reward balances is super important when you're wanting to get to public obedience. I'm also sprinkling in a lot of like free plus rewards. So for me, that's a yes. That means you can break your obedience and get your reward. And I kind of run backwards with it. That goes along with like what I've been doing with Roxy, having her just kind of chase the food. Your dog's kind of getting to satisfy multiple facets of the prey drive, so they're getting to chase as well as consume. So it just makes things a little bit more interesting. And then it's also kind of a magnet, repeating that idea of draw into me, because eventually we want them to be able to ignore most outside influences and just focus in on us. So the more they're used to looking to us to get that reward and go in, for most dogs, that's what we're going to want to see. Now again, like it's different for every single dog. These are just 2 dogs that I have right now, but if I had like a different dog, the session might look completely different than what both of these guys are doing. So you have to be really ready to kind of change your training plans and your training methods at any time, especially when you're out in public, because you don't have control of what's going to go on in the environment. So being flexible to start with and already setting yourself up for an easy win is going to be the biggest benefit to you and the dog.
Yeah, good girl. Did you bump your head? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, poor Derby. You bumped your head. Come on.